Around your body right now is a complete sphere of energy, a torus. It's the same field shape as a cell, as a tree, as the earth itself. Energy rises through your center, fountains out in every direction, and falls back to circulate again. But if you live in the modern world, half of that sphere has quietly collapsed. We spend our days facing forward, screens, desks, the person in front of us, and our awareness, our whole energetic field, pools toward the front. The back of the sphere compresses. In December 2006, Dr. Robert Gilbert taught a standing practice to rebuild the full sphere. Circulate the energy up, then down, then both at once, until the two currents pass through each other and open what he calls a doorway to spirit. Stand up, give yourself a little room, and do it with him directly. Here is the practice in his own voice.
So the first practice that we're going to do is related to the torus circulation that we discussed before. The toroidal energy circulation is absolutely fundamental for living systems on the planet, everything from the human being up to the earth itself. And the toroidal energy circulation practice is very simple and very straightforward and extremely beneficial. The basic idea of it is that there is this toroidal energy field in the human energy field itself. So that if we think of the human body as having a central channel of energy, the thrusting channel in Taoist yoga, Sushumna channel in Indian yoga, a central channel of energy going straight through the center of the body, entering at the crown, exiting through the perineum, going down between the feet and down into the earth, and of course also extending above the crown of the head, straight up. This vertical axis of the body is actually one of multiple energy axes of the human body, but it's the primary one. It's the first one that you see developing with the embryo in the womb. It's the core energy axis. And so it's this energy axis that's going to be the axis through which we take the energy in from below, move it up through the center of the body in the energy field, up to above the head, where it then spreads out and moves to all sides, and then back down to below the feet to circulate this way. So we're going to start with this practice by circulating it from below the feet to above the head, and then we're going to try it the other direction. The force coming this direction is the earth force. The force coming this direction is usually called the heaven force. And these two forces have particular applications. Also, after we've done each one separately, we're going to try moving them together. And when these two energies move into and past each other, it creates a very specific energetic effect. And I'll let you experience that for yourself, but it's related to the concept of the scalar wave energy that we discussed before. The basic idea there is that we looked at these scalar wave coils in which you had either a caduceus coil, where the two wires crossed over each other and created a 0 point where they crossed, or what's called a bifilar coil that we showed you yesterday, where the two coils are one above the other. And the people that work with this then buck the two energy fields, the magnetic fields of the two coils against each other. That creates the scalar wave energy. Now the same type of thing happens whenever you have two canceling forces hitting each other. So when you have force coming from below to above and above to below, and they move into and through each other, it creates this type of 0 point phenomenon that we've described so far. Now the same thing is true in certain groups out there today that teach energy meditations based on sacred geometry, where they have you counter-rotate two versions of the same form in your energy field. Probably the most well-known version of that that's currently out there is with the star tetrahedron, which has the form of one tetrahedron up, one tetrahedron down, interpenetrating, like a three-dimensional six-pointed star. And the form that's usually taught of that is that you have one star tetrahedron static in the field, and then two other star tetrahedra in the same space, and they are counter-rotating within the field. And having that counter-rotation creates this 0 point type of energy as the two fields are passing through each other. There are variations on this. There are other groups that work with the same idea, but they do it with spheres, and they counter-rotate the spheres in the field. But that idea of counter-rotation does the same sort of thing, creates a 0 point field. So for the practice we're about to do, as I said, we're going to start with the toroidal energy circulation. And you find that many groups work with variants on this particular exercise, and they will have different names for it. For instance, in some parts of the East, they will describe an energy exercise where you bring energy in through the lower part of the body, through the feet, lower energy field, and circulate it up the center of the body, and then radiate it out. And they describe it in forms of a tree, like a willow tree, where the energy comes up the trunk of the body, like the trunk of a tree, and then it spreads out like a willow's branches in all directions, and the branches move back down to the earth, and then it orbits again. But that's the same idea as this toroidal energy circulation. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just to go ahead and to stand up where you are, move your chairs back a little bit. Stand up, and if you want to move a little bit into the aisleway or something to give you a little bit of room from your neighbor, the only thing that you're really going to need room for is room to stand up, and at just a couple of places in the exercise you'll be moving your arms like this, but not for the entire practice, just to give you a sense of the energy movement. So again, the basic idea is that your awareness and attention is below the feet to begin with, and you're going to bring energy up the central channel of the body, between the feet, entering in at the perineum at the base of the body, through the center of the body, up above the head, out through the crown. And when it comes to a place above the head, about the extent that your arms can reach above your head, it'll then move out to all sides, again like the idea of the willow tree. But be aware that as it moves up the center and then out to the sides, it moves out to all sides simultaneously. It's a complete sphere of energy around you. As that central rod of energy comes up, it then moves to a spherical form. And one thing to keep in mind in doing this is that when you analyze this in our culture, most people in our culture have more of their energetic awareness out here than they have back here. For most of us, the backspace energetic awareness, and literally the backspace of the energetic aura, is greatly compressed. So this is actually an energy practice not only to circulate energy in and through the energy body, but also to begin to create a harmonious spherical form that is completely balanced to all sides. And so as you do the practice and the energy comes down, give some awareness to make sure that the energy form that is moving downward is equally far out to all sides. So one way that we might want to do it to begin with is with the idea of the energy coming up the center of the body. Go ahead and use your arms to reach up above the head, and the place that your fingers touch above your head will be the place that you then allow the vertical movement to stop, and then it's going to ray out to all sides. So let the arms come down and get a kinesthetic feeling for how far out your fingers are at the moment. And then just go ahead and, without moving your feet, just move your arms around a bit and get a sense of how far that sphere, if there was a perfect, harmonious, equal sphere in all directions, would go, particularly toward the back, to make sure you're going as equally far in the back as you do to the front and equal to both sides. Okay, for the first repetition we're going to do together, I'm going to ask you to do it with me and use your hands to replicate the movement. Then after you get the sense of it, we're not going to use the hands. So we're also going to do this in combination with the breath. So for the first repetition, you're aware of the energy beneath the feet, and with the inhale, bring the energy up between the legs, into the body, and up above the head. So the end of the first inhale, the energy will be up here. Then when you exhale, it falls like the leaves of the tree to all sides, and it goes at the end of the exhale back to beneath the feet. And we'll do that a couple of times. So for this, we want to use the hands to mirror the movement to make sure you've got it. Okay? So with your hands pointing down to below the body to begin with, inhale and pull the energy up. Maximum inhale, energy is all the way up, and exhale. Let it fall to the side. Maximum exhale, and back below the feet. Then inhale. Bring the energy up the center of the body, up above the head, and exhale to all sides, to back below the feet, and equally low beneath the body as to the height you went above the body. One more time using the hands. Up, inhaling, full extent, and exhale, out to all sides, to down beneath the body. Now let's do it 7 times, and you can do it either with your eyes open or closed, whichever you prefer. And don't use your hands this time, just do it with energetic awareness. So first repetition, breathe in. And exhale. Breathe in. And exhale. Breathe in, up the center of the body, and exhale. Breathe in, up above the head, and exhale. Breathe in, pulling up the center of the body to above the head, and exhale. Out to all sides, back to below the body. Breathe in, up the center of the body to above the head, and exhale. Out to all sides to below the body, and last repetition. Inhale, and exhale. Now just tune in for a moment to the feeling of energy in your field and ask yourself silently, how has this practice structured my body of energy? What is the after effect of energy in your field that you feel? Okay, now we're going to do it the other direction. So again, what we're going to start with is going to do it 3 times together using the hands to mirror the movement. For this, when we inhale, we're going to start above the head, pull in through the crown, down through the center of the body, down into the earth, and a maximum inhale beneath the feet. We'll then exhale, and then the energy will flow up around all sides back to the top. So now we're making this movement. So let's start with our hands up here, and inhale, pulling the energy down through the crown, through the center of the body, down to beneath the feet, and then exhale, up around the sides, front of the body, back to the top, and inhale, below the feet, and exhale, and inhale, to below the body, and exhale. Okay, we're going to do it 7 times, and we're going to do it again with the breath, but not using the hands. And for this time, let me ask you to do it with your eyes closed, so you can tune into the energy a little bit better. So with the eyes closed, your back straight, awareness above the head. Inhale, from above to the center of the body to below, and exhale, energy flows around you in a sphere, moving upward back to above the head. Inhale. And exhale, energy goes from below all the way around you in a sphere back to above the head. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Last repetition, awareness above the head. Inhale, through the center of the body, to below the feet, and exhale, from below the feet, around in a sphere, back up to above the head. And keeping the eyes closed, ask yourself the silent question, how has this practice structured my body of energy? What is the energetic after effect of the practice? Okay, and you can open your eyes. Now let's try the last part of it, which is doing both directions simultaneously. And this can be a little bit tricky at first, but has a very interesting energy effect. So for this, when we inhale, we're going to bring energy in simultaneously from above and below. So the midpoint of the inhalation, the energy is going to meet the center point of the body and pass through each other. And then at exhalation, it's going to go both directions with the spherical movement simultaneously. Again, when you inhale, the two will both come up and down simultaneously, and then on the exhale, it'll be both above and below. Okay, we're going to do it 7 times. Let's try it with the eyes closed. And inhale. Feel the sensation as the two fields pass through each other, and exhale. And the sensation as the two fields pass through each other in the sphere around you. Inhale. And exhale. And 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 last time, inhale. Fields pass through each other, and exhale. Fields pass through each other on the spherical perimeter of the body. And keeping the eyes closed, ask yourself the silent question, how has this practice structured my body of energy? Feeling the energetic after effect of the practice. And when you're ready, you can snap the fingers of either hand, open your eyes, and have a seat. So, as is the case with most energy exercises that combine breathing with energy circulation, you might find that this particular exercise will generate heat in the body. Also, it's the kind of thing that can be done to increase the energy in the body and to increase one's general vitality level when you're beginning to feel depleted. One aspect of that is getting the energy correct through the central channel of the body so it's flowing strongly. It's also a matter of pulling energy from the earth, which is very grounding, and energy from heaven, which has its own force that is quite activating. And in fact, in working with these two different directions, a particular person might need to circulate the energy one direction or the other at particular times, depending on their energy structure and what they need energetically at that time. Each direction is a particular polarity of energy. The heaven force and the earth force work simultaneously on the human energy field all the time. In Chinese Taoist philosophy, they show this in a 3-part system with heaven above, human being in the center, and the earth below. The third element is the most balanced because it's working with both polarities simultaneously. At the same time, there's a particular aspect of it that's highly esoteric because whenever you move two energy fields through each other, you create a zero-point effect. And that zero-point effect is an opening of a door to spirit, so to speak. Whether you study it in electromagnetic theory, where a scalar wave basically is sending the charge inward to another place, or whether you study it esoterically, to where it's connecting to other planes, other dimensions, to spirit, however you want to think of it. Whenever two energy fields pass through each other, you get that zero-point effect. So it has a balancing effect, but also has this gateway or doorway aspect. We're constructed in such a way that we don't really take in through our sensorium quantities, we take in qualities. And that qualities are based on a particular scale of qualities, so that that same scale replicates for all of our senses. So any of the senses can be activated to perceive the energy quality within the scale, whether it's taste or smell or touch or sight or hearing. Any of these can be activated at that time. And it's always very worthwhile to pay attention to what's being activated for you, because one person's experience will be different from another person's experience. And that's why we say this thing at the end about tune in at the end to see how this practice structures your body of energy. Because this is moving energy in a particular circulation pattern and has a particular polarity to it. And depending on how your energy system is to begin with, you might have different sensations. But it also creates a structuring effect in the energy field that we want you to be aware of. That structuring effect is somewhat universal between people because the geometric flow is universal. But we already have a foundation of a structure that's different from the next person, so the experience of it can be a little bit different.
That meeting point, where the upward current and the downward current pass through each other, is what Gilbert calls the 0 point. It's the same principle behind every counter-rotating sacred geometry meditation, from the star tetrahedron to the Merkaba. Two fields moving through each other, opening a doorway. Done a little each day, this rebuilds the complete sphere, grounded by the earth force, activated by the heaven force, whole in every direction, front and back. If this is the kind of practice you want more of, grounded, tradition accurate, and immediately verifiable through your own direct experience, subscribe. There's much more of Dr. Gilbert's work here, and we're going much deeper.